I got some questions on how to make a frequency table similar to a question on a quiz. So I thought I'd make a video and explain it again. Now this is an example I just so made up, and I called it the number of hours watching Netflix in a week. And we want to create a frequency table. In this case, we're using 4 classes. Now, you ask, where do the classes come from? I made them up. They just come from my brain. I wanted 4 classes to get a good overview. Okay, is how many hours are you really watching Netflix in a week? So, and I used 4 classes for, I do believe I have 20 data values here. So the first step is we need to calculate the width. And the width is calculated by using the largest number, and I do believe it's 60, and we're subtracting the smallest value, which is 2, and we're going to divide that by the amount of classes that I gave you. In this case, that is 4. So please do not change that number. If it's given to you, use it. So that's 58 divided by 4, and 58 divided by 4 is 14.5. Now, to use the width, we are rounding up. We always rounding up, so the width that we use here would be 15. Okay, now we can complete our frequency table, which means now we got to fill out our classes first. We're starting with the smallest data value, which in this case is 2, and to that 2, we're going to add our width 15. That gives you the next lower limit of 17. Now you're going to add 15 again. That is the next lower limit of the third class of 32 plus 15, and we get 47 as our last lower limit. So I have 4 classes here, and we keep on adding 15, 15, 15 to find the lower limits. Now to find the upper limits, we're just going to look at the second lower limit, which is 17. And we're going to subtract 1 from 17. That would be 16. 16 plus 15 is 31. Plus 15 is 46. And then we do 46 plus 15. And in this case, that is 61. So these are our classes. That's how you determine classes. You start with the lowest value as your first lower limit, and you keep on adding the width. Now comes the hard part. We have to tally, okay, how many of these raw data values fall into each class. So I'm going to start with 60, and I tally them here. 60 will fall in the last class. I'm going to cross it out. Then I go to 2 in the first one, 4 in the first one, and 20 falls into the second one. Then I do 18, 12, 3, and 36. 2 falls into the first one, 9 falls into the first one, 18 into the second, 19 would be in the second class as well. And again, these represent the hours. So 19 hours falls into 17 to 31 hour class. 25 as well, 48 into the last one, 12, 16, 8, 51, 10, so there's another one here, 5, and 41 into the third class. So now let's make sure I counted them right. So 5 and 5. The frequencies, now I'm counting my tallies, and I actually write the Roman numeral down. That is 5. Then we have 2, and here is 3. Now let's make sure I did that correctly. Let's find the total. 5, 10, 20. Oh yeah, cool. Here it is. Okay, now we need the relative frequency. The relative frequency is each frequency divided by the total and then multiplied by 100, because the relative frequency represents the percentage of each class. So 10 divided by 20 is 0.5, and 0.5 times 100 is 50%. So 50% of the people that we ask here watch Netflix between 2 and 16 hours in a week. 5 divided by 20. 5 divided by 20 is 1/4 times 100 is 25%. 2 divided by 20 is 1/10. 2 divided by 20 times 100 would be 10%. And 3 divided by 20 is 15%. And of course, altogether, that should add up to 100%, and 70, 80, 90, 100, it does. So the grand total, 100%, or close to it if we have to round. Cumulative frequency starts with the first frequency, so the first frequency is 10, and then we keep adding the next frequency to the previous frequency. So the next frequency here is 5, so 10 plus 5 would be 15, plus 2 is 17, and plus 3 is indeed 20. This has to be equal to 20. Now the midpoint, let's do for the first class, was adding the lower limit 2 plus the upper limit 16 and divide that by 2. So 2 plus 16 is 18, divide that by 2 is 9. So the midpoint between 2 and 16 is 9. Now to make it easy, just add 15 to it. 15 is the width. And we get the second midpoint, 24, plus 15 is 39, and plus 15 is 54. That's how you find the midpoints. Once you have the first one, of course, you can go through the formula, or just a shortcut is adding the width to get your midpoints. And that is how you create a frequency table. I hope this helps. Any questions? Email me.